Hello and welcome to episode 6 of my Wurm Unlimited Let's Play, and sorry about if you watched episode number 5. At the end I stumbled a bit with the fence, so I hope to rectify that now. It was actually a very silly mistake I'd made. So, on the creation of fences, in this episode I want to hopefully finish this enclosure that I'm going to do, and then hopefully have enough time to start on farming. But we'll see how we go, because I need to finish this enclosure definitely, and we're going to do 2 gates for the enclosure, and I'll explain about that as we go. So okay, in the last episode you see me put down this foundation for a fence. It's incomplete, it needs to be finished. So once you activate your wooden mallet, right click the border tile, go over create wooden fence. Well, actually, is to show you here on this one I haven't done yet. Go to fence, plank, build wooden fence. I did that, and that created this incomplete wooden fence. So now if I right click the incomplete wooden fence, click add to crafting window, it brings up the window. Now don't ask me why, but it didn't pick up the wooden mallet before. It was, if you remember, it was empty, and that's what threw me. It totally curveball straight to the head, and totally not my frame of thought. Anyway, so here we are. It's now appeared correctly with the wooden mallet, the tool, and what it will do is it will use up the components that are in your inventory. You don't have to add the components to this window. On the left you'll see incomplete wooden fence, on the right the tool needed, which is the oaken wood mallet. Now what we'll do, down here you'll see some numbers, okay, and they'll be defaulted on 1 of 3. So what you can do is we'll fast forward that to 3 of 3, and that way it will add 3 components. So if it needed 3 planks, it's going to add them. It only needs 2, so I'll click on create or continue, and you'll see now the progress bar, and it's taking the components out of my inventory and adding them to the fence. So if I close this, you'll see now we've finished the wooden fence. Don't worry, I'm going to do a few more. I know it was a bit disjointed the way that I did this fence, so we'll do another one. We'll do a few actually. So there we are. If I double left click, down here it says you see a wooden fence, and it tells you the quality level, the all important quality level. It's only low, I don't really care. It's really low. It's good enough for the purposes now of this Let's Play. I can always improve it, just like everything else can be improved. If I right click, go to examine, it will give me the same information, and notice there isn't you actually, I take that back, you cannot improve the fence. Sorry, I was incorrect. You can improve low stone walls and tall walls. Maybe they've changed this, or maybe my memory's blanked out from when I used to create, because I never normally create wooden fences. I will look into that, but it doesn't look like you can improve a fence once you place it down. That's it. With a stone wall you can, which we'll get to. Okay, let's do another one. So activate the wooden mallet, right click on the border, tile border, which is going around the edge of the perimeter that you want to fence in. So right click, go to fence, blank, build wooden fence. Away it goes. Oh, notice up here, by the way, my skills are going up. My carpentry, it's on 13. It doesn't matter, it doesn't take long for this to go up. Okay, here, right click again on the incomplete, add to the crafting window. Thankfully it's put that there. It shows us the components still necessary to finish this, all of them here. Okay, so we just click continue. Failed that time, doesn't matter. We're only low skill, we expect lots of failures, not a problem. Okay, continue again. I did warn you, this game will teach you respect. Until you get good at, reasonably good at something, it's going to fail a lot. Which is okay. There you go. We got another fence done. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm walking a bit slow because I'm very overloaded, but I do want to try and get this done as quick as I can for you. Okay, add the fence. Continue. See, it's just seamlessly, flawlessly going through, helping me to create a wooden enclosure. How fantastic is that? Okay. So if any nasty bears or any other wild critters come around here, I'm going to be protected once my enclosure is finished. God, the amount of times I've started enclosures in this and been killed midway through. That always tends to happen when you're building something like this. Now, let's see, it looks like that is obstructed, is it? So that's that fence. No, it isn't. There we go. So let's right click. Oops, no, what am I doing? Forget that. Right click, fence, blank, build wooden fence. Right click, add to crafting window and continue. Oops, sometimes you stand a bit close. If you stand too close to what you're building with some items, it will warn you down here. Just step backwards, the S key, and it will finish. Won't interrupt the action, it will finish. You just need to move back a bit. Okay, I put a log down. Rainstorm put logs where she wants the 2 fences to go. To the gate, sorry, where she wants the 2 gates to go. Don't know if I said that, I don't think I did. Okay, let's just quickly do this side. Okay, that's done. Like I say, you don't have to do an enclosure on flat land. You can do it on uneven land. It's all down to your skill level as to how high the slopes it will let you build on. And it will give you a message down there if you can't. It will tell you why. Now I'm just doing this wooden enclosure because I believe it was the least amount of materials necessary in order to make an enclosure, plus it's the most likely items that you'll have access to right at the beginning of the game. I didn't want to start making something elaborate that wouldn't have made sense with the Let's Plays that I'm doing, so hence the most basic rudimentary enclosure that we can get. Can of course progress on, and I will be showing you how to make a house and a cottage and all sorts of structures. We can make carts, we can make wagons, we can make all different types of boats. Wow, yeah, some of the big boats are epic. Well, they take an epic amount of time to make. But having said that, of course, things are speeded up tremendously in Wurm Unlimited. I'm talking about Wurm Online. That's where all the skills are set at a much slower rate. But, you know, it's down to whatever you like, really. If you're just trying the game, this is a fantastic introduction to it. If you want to go into a rich world full of all other people surrounding you, be aware though they may take your stuff, but that's some of the fun, you know. Everyone's different. Some of you might be looking for PvP, or you might be looking for doing some of the skills that you can do, like thievery and all the rest of them. But for me, like I said at the very beginning of this episode, I'm happy just to play with the land and create all sorts of structures and roam around and explore, and I've yet to find out what is in this world that I've been plonked in, as in NPCs and other characters, mobs and items and locations, so that's the fun. Oh, I must make sure I don't put a fence across where Rainstorm wants a gate. I know I'm going to do that if I keep talking, but such is the risks. I don't really like to have a quiet video. when I can be filling you with information. Okay, we're going to be getting on to gates pretty soon, so while I'm doing this, let's explain why we want 2 gates and not 1 gate. In fact, let me just finish it. I'll wait till I get on the gates. I'm not going to jump ahead. If I do that, then I will start making mistakes. If this is boring to watch me doing the gates, you can just skip through on the video, of course. But then again, you might miss some tip that I give you, which I tend to just blurt out in the middle of doing this. Oh, we need to step backwards. There we go, and finished. Yeah, I hope you will forgive me for taking the time to do all of this enclosure. I was going to do it before I started recording and leave just 1 fence, but then I thought if you come into to watch this and you see all of the enclosure up with just 1 piece, it just didn't feel right. It felt disjointed with what I'm trying to help and achieve, you know, what I'm trying to help you with and achieve. So that's why I decided, because I can't pause in the video, I'm afraid. I'd have to stop it and then start a new one, which I could have done a video just on doing this, but I've decided if it is a very short video, then I can always start farming. What I might do, depending on the length, is do an episode just on this enclosure, finishing it, and then the next episode start farming. Okay, that one's done. Oh, farming is a fantastic skill. Farming is an excellent skill, not only for food, but also some of the other resources that you can start to gather. Like, for example, cotton. Now, you can plant cotton and then obviously harvest the cotton. Cotton has many, many uses. Number 1, you can use it for healing. 2, you can use it for cloth making, tailoring. Over here you'll see cloth tailoring. You can use it for creating all types of cloth armour. You can use it for creating all types of you can use it for making sails for boats. Yeah, cotton and farming. See, they're all combined, they all lead on to one another, and that's one thing I like about this game. You start off farming, then you start discovering all the different items you can farm, which I couldn't possibly hope to cover all, but I'll do my best. We'll see how far we can go with this Let's Play, in fact. But it's always down to the fact that I have to try and fit it in 30 minutes. With the farming one, I will try to be as far as I can, because there is a lot to cover with farming, and well, with most of the skills there's a lot to cover. The first thing you notice about this game is how rich content-wise it is. There is just tons of stuff. Okay, sometimes when you're far away from the edge and it's on a really steep incline or decline, it's a very slim tile border. What you have to do, the trick, okay, which I learned over the years, which I'm sharing for you now, is you just walk close to it, you right click. Yes, it's going to tell us at the end, isn't it, that we're too close, so we'll just step back. But at least it makes it nice big border now. So there's another little tip for you. So let's step back now and finish this. So yes, and clay as well. Clay is fantastic. Loads of different things we can make with clay, and some very useful. Some very useful items. With clay, I'll also go over how best to find it, because it's not always like that, plonked right beside you. Sometimes you have to find it. Okay, one more piece of fence and we're done. You can stop cursing me for wasting your time having to put up the whole perimeter of the fence. Right, okay, so if we take a look, we've got 2 gaps. One there and one there. And of course we're going to put 2 fences in. Back to the subject. Why do we want 2 fences? Why do we not just put one fence there. Am I being silly by putting a second fence here? No. Let's tell you the golden rule why you will always have two fences. Most of you have probably guessed, but for those of you who are new to Wurm Unlimited and the pleasure and joy and fun of playing the game awaits you, you have two fences, because if you have one fence and a nasty mob, let's say a bear, roams by, you've only got one way out of here, and you're going to have to go by that bear if he decides to sit right there in front of the fence saying, yep, I know you've got to come out in a minute and I'm going to take a big bite out of you. So what you can do is say, fair enough, you do that, you silly bear, because I'm going to walk down this end, come out the other gate, depending on the distance from the bear of course, come out the other gate, all aggro is lost and I can go about my business. It might be though that if you have a small enclosure, he will still have to walk around the enclosure to get to you. That still buys you time to go to your boat, if you've got a boat, or your wagon, or your horse, or your cow, or your bull, whatever takes your fancy to ride in this game, or crocodile, although don't advise that. Oh yeah, just to quickly mention as well, because I have been forgetting, I said in episode 1 I'd tell you what the other mobs I was aware of that can swim in the water for your safety. So, off the top of my head, crocodiles swim. They are one of the nastiest creatures you're going to come across in this game, because they are quite fast and they can go in the water. So if you're on a boat, great, jump in your boat, you can get away from them. But if you're on foot, cross them fingers as you're running away from them. The second mob that I know of is bears. Bears can swim. Do not go aggro near bears thinking you can run into the water. You can't, because they'll go in after you and they will swim. Okay, that's the only two I can think of. Just a quick to say about that. Right, let's do a gate now. Else I am at risk of overstretching this. It's wood scraps, I'll get them in a minute. Okay, so to do the fence is exactly the same, the gate, sorry, is exactly the same components as the fence. How handy is that? So what we do, activate the wooden mallet, go to where you want to position and place the gate, right click on that tile, that border, and go to fence and plank, and we want build wooden fence gate, so click on that. Okay, right click, add to the crafting window and click continue. You'll notice it's exactly the same materials as building a fence. Okay, we now have one fence in place. If I walk up to it, you see it's opened. Walk away from it, it closes. Now, that will keep out most of the mobs. That will keep you safe from most of the mobs. I'm going to do the other gate in a moment, don't worry. Just to quickly clarify though about gates. That will keep you safe from wolves, bears, most kinds of animals. What it won't keep you safe from though is a big nasty troll. If you see a troll, that's when you will be using your two gates. You can keep trolls out as well if you put a lock on your gate. Now, I considered doing a lock on the gates, but oh wow, that then goes into all sorts of blacksmithing, which we will get to. I will get to that as quick as I can, but there is so much content to go over, all the important stuff for you. So that's going to keep you relatively safe though. You just put a gate on there. If you can create a lock and put it on, all the better, because it'll keep trolls out. And I'm not sure what other mobs, goblins was mentioned by Rainstorm, I believe. So I'm not 100% sure on all the other mobs that can use it, but I know trolls can. Okay, so let's get the second gate in place. God, this last one does like to fail a lot. And there we go. Right, we now have a secure enclosure. So as I was mentioned in episode 1, 3 main things to surviving your first day is your water, your food, and an enclosure. Okay, so there we are. Bear in mind though, as I'll say it just once more, be aware that some mobs can open gates if you don't put locks on them. So put a padlock on both of your gates as soon as that becomes available to you. So thank you for joining me. I'm going to call it a day just here on achieving that we finished the enclosure. I am sorry, my apologies if it was boring watching me put all the fences up, but then I guess you could just skip through the video to the bits you want to watch. Anyway, take care and thank you for watching. Goodbye.